Man, it would suck if I was sick, but not anymore. I'm all better now, ain't I, Nick?
Yeah, after ruining last week's podcast. I think you were faking last week, too.
It was pretty bad. I didn't have any appetite. I felt like throwing up after every meal.
Yeah, Brett came over to do our podcast that he, tells me all the time is so important to him. And then, magically right before we're about to do it, he's got to go home and, he's got a stomach ache. I think he's a big old faker.
No, I was not faking.
Oh, explain how you weren't faking then to everybody.
I can't explain. I can't prove it. It's just how I felt.
Truth be told. Truth be told.
Well, have I ever just got up and left your place saying, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to go home now.
No,
Bye.
You haven't.
So maybe you should shut up.
I
did it. I said shut up again. No.
Wow, we're already starting to be mean.
And I'm sober.
We're already starting to be mean to your friend.
I told Nick, I said...
Who's helped you.
Tell me when I'm being mean to you, because I edit these podcasts and I'm like, wow, I'm really mean
Who's
to
helped
Nick.
you build this podcast from the ground up, and you decide to tell me
well, you know what?
Shut up.
You're also saying that I was fake being sick when I
You know what? I think I'm owed an apology.
Sorry, Nick.
I accept your apology.
Thank God.
But don't do it again!
Okay. That was a little excessive.
Wonderful. I'm glad we got that off the table. Welcome to another week of the Shotcast, your weekly dose of news mixed with shots.
Hey.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brett.
And we're here to bring you this week's top news stories mixed with some alcohol.
Yes.
And some frivolity.
Yes.
And some really positive and funny candor.
This podcast is rated R.
So if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're coming back, well, guess I don't know why, but clearly you enjoy listening to us.
They
so
love us.
Welcome back.
They love us.
Glad to have you here again. So, anything new this week, Brett?
Anything new this week? You know what? There's always something new, and I always say I don't care to share it.
And for the first time, I think in a very long time, Brett, I can say...
Nothing new with you?
I have nothing new going on in my life.
Thank God. I feel normal again.
I have nothing new. This has been a really just kind of...
That's how it should be every week.
It's been what? You're mean.
No. Can't you be a normal human being and have nothing going on, please? Jesus.
No, I'm a very involved individual.
Well, stop it.
No.
No, please just be average at life.
I like what I do. I like having my business and working full-time and being on a nonprofit board and working until 11 o'clock most nights.
Sounds like
and
you really
not
love
sleeping.
it.
I love what I do.
It sounds like you really love all that. Sounds like hell to me.
I do, Brett. Why don't you tell everyone how, on average, during a given week, you get text from me saying, I can't do this anymore?
Probably like at least 15 a week.
And the sad thing about all of it now is Brett's become so immune to when I say these things.
I don't even care anymore.
I know that he literally just autopilots his brain and types back, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, it'll be all good, man. And I just throw my phone and start playing some more Destiny.
So Brett's gotten used to I really am okay with everything I'm doing. It's just we all get a bit stressed sometimes, especially if you're me, good old Nick. But what can you do? But no, this week was not super eventful, I can honestly say.
But in the news, it was.
I mean, I kind of pulled a lot of stories from last week because I couldn't
Nick,
do it.
In the news, it was. And your response should be, yes, it was. Okay?
Well, it wasn't. We don't play by your rules. But I'll tell you what, though. I enjoyed the weather a lot this week.
The weather?
Yeah, it wasn't like ungodly, humid, or rainy, or horrible this week
What are
in
you
Wisconsin.
talking about? I almost died.
You were driving in just a thunderstorm. It wasn't nothing.
What did you drive in then? Because you said your drive home was hell.
I did?
Yeah, you did. I'll go back to my text.
Because it was raining. But I got new tires.
Because it was raining? That's why it was hell?
I got new tires.
When I'm literally have my windshield wipers on full blast and I can't see through my windshield and my car's hydroplaning from all the water on the highway.
Fine.
I have to go down from 70 to 45 on the interstate.
Fine. I guess you had a worse drive in the weather on Tuesday, okay?
I literally got off the interstate because it was so bad and drove the country roads. That's how bad.
Why would you drive the country roads? Those are worse. Those have like mini ravines in them because they don't take care of the roads.
They're not worse. You're going 70 and you're more prone to hydroplane.
But the interstate is designed to handle rain.
Oh yeah, well why was I hydroplaning all the damn place?
Because you got really bad tires.
Yeah, they're pretty dead.
Thus my point. But other than that, apparently Tuesday, I thought it's been a nice change from not hot and humid. It's been very nice fall-like weather.
We had one of the coldest days today. Almost. It was like 42
We
degrees.
did. It's supposed to get down to freezing tonight. Yes.
Yeah, if it rained tonight, it would snow. Almost.
Stop it. I'm not there yet.
Well,
although
I don't want to be there.
I'll tell you what.
I don't want to be there till December.
That series of text messages you sent me earlier in the week where you were doing your little thing and rhymes with the different seasons.
Oh, that was pretty good. Huh?
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
I can be smart.
Great.
Brett is so smart.
Well, Brett, why don't you crack open the beers and we can begin talking about this week's top news? Why don't you say so?
Let's take a shot.
Oh, that's right. We forgot to tell everybody. Next week is our monthly drunk cast for October. And we have a lot of announcements in store next week. Brett and I have been
We should make it a spooky one.
For October? Mm-hmm. You know, that's not a half bad idea.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Anyhow, as I was saying, before Brett, of course, interrupted me, as always, we have a lot of announcements coming out for next week because Brett and I have been doing a lot of thinking about the Shotcast, and hard to believe we've almost been doing it for about a year now. But we've been thinking about the format and a couple different things, and a lot of it we like, a lot of it we don't, but we finally have settled on something that I think really is going to work and you all are going to enjoy much better. I don't know, they're going to have to wait till next week during the Drunkcast.
Oh, I thought you were going to announce it now.
No, I'm not announcing it now.
If I would have listened, I probably would have known that. Huh?
A lot of changes are coming down the pipeline for the Shotcast. Finally, I'm working on the website.
Yeah, that's actually getting done. That's pretty cool.
We're actually going to, if you are listening to us on SoundCloud, you're probably not going to be able to in the next couple of weeks because we're going to migrate to a whole new hosting platform that'll get us out many more peoples.
Many more peoples, yes. You want to take a shot now? Yeah.
So, yeah, you can expect that. So what do you say, Brett? Go ahead and say it.
Shots to the Shotcast, everybody. Love you all. Thanks for listening.
Love you all. Well, I guess we should move into segment 1 here for our top news story, shall we? So,
I'm so excited.
Like I said, some of these we meant to talk about last week, but couldn't because, well, Brett had doo-doo. But
that wasn't funny.
Borrowed some again. So they're still kind of relevant, even though they may not have happened this week. So, top news stories of the week. We really got to get some,
we gotta get some sound bites going.
No, you do got it. We got to get some sound bites and some music.
You know what? That's something I'm gonna find some.
You should work on that this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on sound bites.
No, I'm serious. Find some sound bites.
I'm serious. I'm gonna find some sound bites this week, and maybe even record some sound bites that we can do with ourselves. And then I'm gonna find some spooky music for this month's Halloween.
Maybe next week we should record some sound bites.
Agreed.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you also.
Wonderful.
Let's not appreciate each other in the podcast though, because we don't have time for that.
Oh, Brett, such a cheery fella. All right.
God damn it.
First top news story of the week. Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Sorry, folks. I had to grab my glasses here because at the age of 24, I can't see anymore. Anyhow, are you ready, Brett, for the first top news story? So first one, Apple unveils / releases new iPhone models, which actually happened, 2 weeks ago now. Well, it's still kind of relevant, though, because they announced it 2 weeks ago, and they actually went on sale last week.
Okay, cool.
And I don't know if you've heard about, of course, Apple unveiling another revision of the iPhone, because it's all they do anymore. They don't do anything interesting. They don't innovate anywhere. They just keep releasing iPhones and keep making them more expensive.
Yeah, I don't really see them being relevant in the next 10 to 20 years.
Wow, we're going to talk about this. I'm glad you agree with me. This makes me happy.
Unless they do anything different.
They're not, because Steve Jobs is dead. Anyhow, we'll talk about that. So, Wednesday, September 12th, Apple unveiled its new lineup of iPhone models for 2018-2019. It's the, ceremonial, everyone get together in an Apple theater and, let's all circle jerk to, wow, you know what's funny? I used to be such an Apple fanboy, and I am not anymore whatsoever. Sure, I own a MacBook Pro. Sure, I own an iPhone. Sure, I own an Apple Watch. But you know, you can definitely. Would you say I'm more pro Microsoft now than anything?
Microsoft and Amazon.
Yes, I would totally agree with that. But yes, it was Apple's, yearly, let's all get together in a room, talk about how great we
piss
are.
off Nick.
Here's a new phone that really isn't innovative, yet we have great marketing team. We're going to make it look nice and sexy for y'all, and you're going to buy it.
Hey, our next phones, we should get Androids.
Here's the problem. I'm too locked into the Apple ecosystem now.
And you can't talk bad about them.
No, I can, though.
No,
I can buy their
no.
products, and I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just saying I am not as big as an Apple fanboy as I used to be.
I don't know, Nick.
And I can still buy their products and not be the biggest fan of what, their innovation and their technology. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, the new models, aptly named the iPhone XR.
Aptly named.
Oh,
See
I see what I did there.
eh?
iPhone XR, iPhone XS, and iPhone XS Max. Do you like what I did there?
We got Apple Extreme. Yeah, I do like Max, yeah.
These new models are Apple's most expensive iPhone models to date. Get this, with the iPhone XS Max starting at $1099 MSRP.
That's stupid.
That is ridiculous for a phone. But you know why they're doing it now. You know why they're able to raise the price.
Why?
Because have you noticed what the carriers are doing now? They're all the pay-as-you-go thing. Mm-hmm. So you're essentially remember when the smartphones first came out, iPhone, whatever. You bought the phone for like $500, but were locked into a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So now they don't have you locked into a contract anymore. But what they're doing is you're leasing the phone. You're essentially leasing the phone. You can do it through Apple, or you can do it through a carrier like.
Can't you tell them I want to buy it, or do they make it?
No, you can buy it outright, but most people don't want to drop $10.99 on a phone right away. So what they do is they set you up on a payment plan for like 36 months or whatever it is. So it's like a car.
Yeah, that's what phones are turned
It's
into.
stupid.
Phones are turned into
It's
cars.
stupid, but you understand though, because they've changed the way we pay for things with the phone. It's one thing to be like, okay, the phone costs $14.99, you have to pay this all up front. But it's another thing to say, the phone costs $14.99, but we're going to separate it out over 36 months.
Yeah.
And what the carriers do then, too, is because it feeds off of people's need to constantly be hip and up on the new thing, is you could either pay off the phone entirely in the contract, which takes a long time, or you get to like 20 months, and then they're like, oh, well, you could just trade it into us. We'll take it, sell it, and make money, and then we'll lock you into another one. And it's a perpetual, endless cycle.
Cycle.
Yes, and that is why they're able to raise the price of the phone.
Wait, so if my phone contract is 2 years, and my 2 years is up this January, does my phone bill go down after that?
What do you mean phone contract? Because you're probably doing the leases or the pay-as-you-go thing for the cost of the phone.
I can't remember.
I think that's what you're doing. Because that's what everyone does now.
But
I was with you when you bought that, I remember.
you were not with me when
Yeah,
I bought
I was.
this.
I went with you to the U.S. Cellular store.
No, you didn't.
I was, yes.
You're not there with me. I was there with Steve and Diane.
Oh, I'm thinking the first time we went there.
Yeah. you're
Okay,
thinking that.
yes. But I remember the plan they were going to set you up on, and I think it's the pay-as-you-go thing.
Okay, well.
That's what everyone does now. I personally think it's stupid, even though I'm doing it right now, but I'm almost done. I don't think I'm going to do it again.
Maybe I don't think I'm going to do it either. I think I'm going to do like a car plan.
A car plan?
Like eventually I'll be done with the payment.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you could either sell the phone outright if it's worth anything, or you just go buy another one and start the whole cycle over again.
Why'd I say car plan?
Or you could just
loan.
Or you could just buy the phone at cost.
Yeah, why don't I just do that?
Because most people aren't willing to drop $10.99 on something like that right out of the hole.
Well, we did on our computers.
So, but what I've noticed is they don't charge interest on this lease as you go thing, which
Yeah,
is
that's nice.
which is quite weird. But
Well, it's
anyhow,
nice.
the iPhone. What were you saying?
Maybe the interest is already in there.
Could be. Who the hell knows? But anyhow, the iPhone XS Max boasts a 6.5-inch Super Retina HD display, making this model of iPhone the largest screen Apple has produced. Oh, God. All new models come equipped with Apple's A12 Bionic chip with a next-generation neural engine
Oh, my God.
that increases the device's machine learning capabilities. You see what they do here with language? They make it sound so...
Yeah, it sounds like you making a resume.
They make it sound so, like, futuristic. And don't be wrong, the tech they put in this stuff is pretty good. But, like, it's nothing that hasn't already been done.
Yeah.
They just have a way of wording things and selling it.
It was probably done by Microsoft or Sony.
Well, no, Microsoft
5
doesn't
years
make
ago.
fun. I'm just talking about like
No, I'm talking like the other phone companies probably did this like 5 years ago.
it's not even fun. Well, okay, my thing is like if you look at a Samsung phone, they're doing the same stuff. They just can't market it as well as Apple can.
Yeah.
The new models also come with a dual 12 megapixel wide angle and telephoto cameras for all your Instagram and scrappy photo taking pleasures.
Oh, yeah, knock that off right now. That's
What?
creepy as shit.
I'm being like, yeah, come by the phone, sexy.
No, you're not.
Okay,
You're being creepy.
I'll be done now.
Yeah, please.
But here's some interesting facts about the iPhone that you may not have known, Brett. Since its launch in 2007, which can you believe it's been just over 10 years that this phone has been around?
Feels like it's been longer.
Right?
Yeah, it feels like it's been my whole life.
I mean, practically, I was in junior high when it came out.
Yeah, I remember I was a freshman, sophomore.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade, I think, when it came out.
Yeah.
God, that's scary. Gross. But yeah, since its launch in 2007, Apple has sold more than 1 billion iPhone devices, which has contributed to the company's $1 trillion stock valuation. Yes, the pinky from Dr. Evil is necessary, Brett. 1 billion.
$1 billion.
They have sold a seventh of the world's population phones.
Microsoft should have won that. If it wasn't for the iPhone, we would never even know what Apple is.
That's not true. They had back in the 90s the iMac was like the thing.
So was Sega.
What does that have to do with anything?
How many people are talking about Sega?
Nobody, only people who want nostalgia.
Okay, except there was never an Apple phone or anything like that, or no Steve Jobs. Who would be talking about it?
Nobody.
Just for nostalgia.
Shut up, you're mean to me.
No, I'm correct.
Anyhow, some other neat facts for those of us who care.
I thought you hated him. What? I'm just kidding.
You have been doing this to me all night. You realize this? You must.
I take enjoyment.
Great. Anyhow, some other neat facts here. Apple users download an average of 51 apps per minute.
What?
Yes, 51 apps per minute.
Why? Knock it off, people.
You have to think.
You don't need that many apps.
Well, no, not like individuals, like total Apple users download an app. Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
94% of the smartphone industry's profits go to Apple. 94%.
That's a lot.
That is why they're rich as hell.
Yep.
Facebook is the most popular smartphone app of all time. Go figure.
Go fucking figure. What about that whole boycott to Facebook, though? Thought they lost a bunch of people.
Doesn't matter. That app is still on everyone's phone.
Yeah.
On the first weekend the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus were launched, 50 devices were sold per second, which equated to 4,320,000 phones per day.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell me what other brand on this planet has that type of fandom over it to sell that type.
4 million a day.
Right?
Fortnite.
Okay, it's different because that's free. This is like an expensive thing.
Yes, but I'd like to see how many people bought the battle pass for Fortnite yesterday or 2 days ago.
We're not getting into your geeky crap here.
40 million maybe. 20 million, 30 million. I don't know about your Apple phone, but it has no candle to a Fortnite.
Okay, great. We're not talking about your stupid Fortnite. My point being is I don't think there's any other brand on the planet that has that much pull with people to cause that type of craziness over
I agree with
a
you.
consumer product.
I agree with you.
But again, like I keep bringing up, they are master marketers.
They are.
They market their products to be sexy, sleek, and refined. And their whole thing is you want an Apple product because you're going to feel better and sexy.
And I actually do.
Well, I mean, it is a good product at the end of the day, but if you look at their commercials, my God, give you the heats there they do.
I don't really care that much when I text a person that has an Android, but I look at and I see the green, I'm like, oh.
And they did that. They did that on purpose.
Ugh.
They made it very
Why
clear.
am I texting this person?
They made it very clear to differentiate people who had iPhone with the blue color for iMessages and people who have non-Apple phones with the green.
Well, the thing is, you can do so much more with the people that have the blue.
Correct.
You can do so much more
And
with them.
again, this is all the little mind tricks and games that they play with people, which is why their marketing company is the most valuable. Not marketing company. Their marketing department, in my opinion, is the most valuable marketing department in the world.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that sell the products. They do all this. So, but like I was talking about before, I kind of went into all the facts. Is I don't think they've been innovative since Jobs died, and it's really starting to piss me off.
When did he die? Was it 2013?
No, he died in 2010. No, he died
long ago.
No, he died in 2011.
Okay.
I think he died in September, October of 2011.
It's been 7 years then.
Yes.
They haven't done anything in 7 years.
Okay, I shouldn't say haven't done anything. They've
Apple Watch.
Okay, great.
Apple TV.
They came out with the watch,
Apple
which
TV.
I do like the watch, but I don't use it for anything other than it sends notifications.
Google Glass, Apple TV.
Google Glass, that's not even Apple. Brett, shut up. Apple TV, they had already come out with the first generation of that. Apple TV, they had already come out with the first generation of that before Steve Jobs died.
Okay, fine, fair, fine.
So
that's right. We were using that at your grandma.
Yes.
I was about to say grandma's place. Gretchen's place.
Where's your brain tonight?
It's over there in the corner. See it? It's waving at us. Bye bye.
Anyhow, yeah, they haven't really done anything innovative other than revise the phone over and over and over again. And when the age of hardware ends, they're going to be screwed.
Well, now they took out the home button along with the aux.
Yeah, but apparently people don't miss it. And I don't miss the aux.
Sometimes I do. Like when I want to play music at the Halloween party and I don't have an aux port for like
That's why
everybody's
you have
old phone and their Android.
That's why you have your...
Yep, I'm just going to bring my little tiny little
your
cord
dongle.
along. My little doggle. Hey, who wants to play some music here? Brett, you got the best music. Come on, come over here. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't have my doggle.
But
I don't have my doggle.
You have to understand that a lot of things are Bluetooth and wireless connected these days.
You have to understand that a lot of my family lives in the 80s.
Well, that's not my fault. That's not Apple's fault
I'm
that
just
your
kidding.
family lives in the 80s.
They don't. It's just the certain things they had at the party were not.
But my point being is
Bluetooth.
they chose to get rid of the headphone jack because it's true. I haven't missed it since it was taken away because everything I use either interfaces via the lightning cable that they have or it's Bluetooth. I don't miss it.
You know what? I remember back in the day I had to use I had an iTouch. I had to plug in the aux, and I'd put that it was connected to a cassette tape. And I'd have to put the cassette tape.
Bryce had that.
Yeah, I
had
had that.
He had it for his blue Kia. He had the cassette tape thing, and I thought that was weird because keep in mind my first car had a direct aux plug-in to the stereo. But yeah, I remember he had the little cassette thing. I thought that was
in my
weird.
Toyota Camry.
Also, Siri's kind of garbage.
Siri sucks.
Siri's bad. You know what I find interesting about the whole...
Hey Siri. See nothing. She never comes up. But when I say something like, or like when I'm listening to a podcast that says, "Today in Syria, how can I help you? How can I help you?"
But you want to know what's super interesting about this? So you know how Amazon and Google have capitalized on the voice assistant market now? Well, yeah. Apple got there first, if you really think about it, back in 2011 when they launched, I think it was the 4S, is when they had Siri, the first iteration of Siri. Mm-hmm. Now, they could have done so much with it if they really, dumped some money into it, really worked on the NLP and all this other stuff, but they didn't. They didn't do it, nope. And they lost. They lost miserably because Alexa and Google Assistant are 100 times better than Siri could ever be.
I've noticed in my lifetime, the 25 years that I've been alive, that a lot of the people who are the forerunners of a certain invention or a product tend to lose because there's people behind them that copy their ideas and make them better and surpass them very quickly.
Well,
the first person who has done it or the first company that did it falls behind very quickly.
This may be one of those prime examples of maybe they were too quick to go to market with it. Like back in 2011, most people weren't going to use a voice assistant in public, if at all, because it's embarrassing. Now, as we moved along time here and we have Alexa running everything and Google Assistant running everything, it's become more normal. Not to mention
I'm not sure.
See, my prime example there. But
Hey, Alexa, shut up.
anyhow, my point being is that, Google and Amazon have really been able to narrow this down and get it good, where Apple had so much opportunity to and they didn't. And then they decided, Amazon's had their smart speaker out for 4 years and Google's had their smart speaker out for 2 years. Let's release our HomePod that's double the price of both of these things that has Siri.
And they just thought that people were going to
And
buy
it failed miserably, Brett. It failed miserably.
Nobody has that.
Don't get me wrong, the thing sounds great. It's a great audio speaker.
Yeah.
But the actual functionality of it, garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. Anyhow, that's my long-winded sermon on Apple here.
So we're going to get to our thoughts here.
That was our thoughts, Brett.
I agree.
In our show notes, I had some thoughts written down, and of course, Brett's thoughts are simple as American apple pie.
I agree.
So yes, that is the first story. Apple unveiling another iPhone. You know what? I'm actually quite content with my current phone, and I think when I'm done paying on it, I don't think I'm going to get a new one right away.
No, I like this one. This has been my favorite one. I don't want a new one. I want to keep this one.
I think I'm content with my iPhone 7 Plus.
Yep, I like mine. I want to keep it.
And I say that now until it's done, and I'm like, oh well, might as well.
Once you get enough points, you get it for free.
Anyhow, well, shall we do another shot before we move on to the next one here?
Yeah,
Brett?
let's do it.
Brettley? Big old Brett?
Let's do it.
Big brother Brett?
What are you doing? Pour your damn
shot. I don't know why I was thinking, because you poured the first ones.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God. I don't know.
No,
Shots to the Shotcast, everybody. Boom.
For all of you listening, we also have our own Shotcast shot glasses now.
Find them nowhere.
Except on Instagram, when we have tons of pictures showing them off. Brett holding them, typically, because I'm ugly and can't be on Instagram.
Nick's not ugly. He's just ginger fabulous.
I hate you. All right. Moving right along here. Wow, we're almost at a half an hour already.
We need to hurry up here.
We got to keep moving.
We talked too long about that. Was 27 minutes on Apple.
No, it wasn't that long.
No. I forgot
you know
what?
Here, I'll say this. Because last week didn't work out so well, we can go a little bit longer if we have to this time. Anyhow, next story. Brett Kavanaugh sexual assault allegations. If you haven't heard about this, you have been living under a rock.
Who are you people?
No, seriously, if you haven't heard about this, you have been living under a rock. All of this debacle with, Trump's recent nominee to the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh, getting accused of sexual assault back in high school. Well, we'll talk about it here.
I was listening to a news story on him, and it was like a parrot, satire, podcast about this news story.
Satire.
Yeah, it's like they're making fun of him.
Oh, okay.
It's like, Brett Kavanaugh, did you sexually harass these women? And they're going to, through names. And the last question was, Brett Kavanaugh, did you smother Justice Scalia's face with a pillow to get this position?
He's actually replacing Justice Kennedy, who retired. But
I got my
that's funny.
justices wrong.
That's funny. Anyhow,
well, thank you for laughing.
High level overview of this here, in case you're listening and have no idea what this is. So Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump's current nominee as Supreme Court Justice, who will replace former Justice Kennedy, is currently facing accusations of sexual assault in the 11th hour of his confirmation. So this all began right before the Senate was about to approve him, because the Republicans have a majority, so clearly it was going to happen. Christine Blasey Ford, I can never get her name right.
Blasey.
Christine Blasey Ford.
Replace the BL with a K. What would you say?
Christine Bakey Ford.
Replace the BL with a K. What would you say? Take the BL out.
Christine Casey Ford.
So now say it with the BL.
Christine Casey Ford. Anyhow, Christine Blasey Ford. What?
Christine Blasey Ford.
Christine Blasey Ford.
Oh, we just go.
A Palo Alto University professor of clinical psychology accused Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her while the two were teenagers. So this happened way back in high school, according to her testimony. Ford states that Kavanaugh tried to force himself on her while they were at a party, as high schoolers. Okay, well, I'll just stop.
Let's say you better shut the hell up.
Yeah. Tried to remove her clothing and put his hand over her mouth when she tried to scream. Not too kind of you, Brett Kavanaugh, to do such things. Not kind at all.
How dare you touch a person when you're going through your hormonal phase? How dare you?
Brett, don't. Don't. Just stop while you're ahead. Ford had initially Ford had initially communicated these allegations to Senator Dianne Feinstein, who is a top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee. So what happened is she did report this to Senator Feinstein, who did hold on to this for quite some time, but Christine Ford basically told her keep this under wraps here for a bit. And following in the wake of the allegations, Kavanaugh has denied them, stating that because this never happened, he had no clue who was making them until Ford revealed herself, is what his response was. And both Democrats and Republicans, up until probably yesterday when we had the testimony, seemed pretty split in how to handle the allegations amidst the confirmation hearing. Seems the Republicans still want to put him through. Pretty much seems that way. And of course, the Democrats are extremely opposed to it. Can you imagine that?
Hey, it's deja vu.
Right, exactly. And yesterday, Kavanaugh and Ford both did testify in front of Congress.
This happens too often.
And it was a very emotionally charged testimony. You could definitely tell when Christine Ford testified that it truly was emotionally traumatic for her. And, you know, I would recommend going and watching it online if you haven't. And then, of course, Brett Kavanaugh was deny the whole time. And But my favorite thing was this picture that someone had put on Twitter. It was him, and he's like, you know, very stern looking while he's talking to the senators, and the faces of the women in the background were just priceless.
They want to kill him?
Oh, God. They were, like, smug and angry, and, yeah, you should...
These are the women that are convicting him.
No, these are just women in the audience.
Calm down.
Yeah. Priceless, to say the least. So as far as I understand, so after the testimony yesterday, it sounds like the Senate Judiciary Committee is still going to put him through, because the one swing vote senator apparently, well, you know, was going to...
Is this a surprise to you?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, next.
However, after Christine Blasey Ford came forward, another woman, Deborah Ramirez, who was a Yale University classmate of Kavanaugh's, stated that he exposed himself to her and shoved his penis into her face at a dorm room party her freshman year.
Oh, no.
Brett!
No, you can't do any, no more stand-up comedy for you, Brett.
Okay, I would...
Do you want me to, like, comment on this?
No, I don't. It's just funny the way you said, oh, no. Brett, This is bad. Like, you can't do that.
No. How old were they?
Well, high school, then college.
College? He shoved his pee-pee
in her face. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Were they at a frat party?
It looks like it said it was a dorm room party their freshman year.
Dorm room party, he shoved a pee-pee in her face.
Yes.
And now, 30 years later, she's coming forward saying that this was harmful to her, so he doesn't get the position?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Well, guess I know where you stand on this.
I'll fucking know.
If confirmed...
So, wait. So, if he was applying to be a janitor at some office place, do you think she'd come forward and be like, he can't be a janitor there because...
Brett, probably not.
He put his pee-pee in my face at a college party. He can't be a janitor. Don't let him have this job. Do you think she'd be coming forward?
Probably not, Brett. Probably not.
So why is she coming forward on this one?
Because he's about to become a Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America.
I guess my argument doesn't weigh up there because janitors aren't as important as Supreme Court justices.
Well, this again, as we've talked about,
This I think it's kind of ridiculous.
This stems back to the whole Me Too movement.
I mean, can I justify what I said?
I'll probably argue against you, but sure, go ahead.
Not justify what I said. I'm trying to make it sound better. I don't agree with doing that to a woman, but I also think it's kind of ridiculous. That's 30 years ago. That's
right.
my stance. I don't think that it was right what he did.
True.
But also I don't think it's really it's kind of stupid. You're coming forward 30 years later.
Well,
30 years.
What I've been able to read and the rationale I've gotten from the people who've come forward, they were too afraid until now to come forward. Why? I guess I'm not a woman. I don't know. I don't know.
I was on the bus for baseball, and I had a kid who was like the bully on the bus take out his nutsack and push it on my face while I was sleeping. That story's hilarious now. I tell my friends that's a joke.
But you're a male, Brett.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. He put his nuts in my face.
But you're a man, Brett.
Why is that any different?
Because you're not a woman.
Okay, so I have to be a woman to be sexually assaulted?
You got me. I don't really know how to respond. No, he did. He got me because this is the really fine line of this whole thing. Truly.
Yeah.
Because that draws in a really significant societal and cultural question.
Yeah.
Of if a man was sexually harassed or assaulted by another man or a woman, would it weigh as much if, comparable to these claims we see right now?
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
I don't either, because I think this is something that everyone knows and thinks about, but no one really wants to make the argument.
I'm just trying to think, what would they say?
And I just want to make it... No, shut up, Brett. I just want to make it clear to everyone listening, we are not defending what this man did to these women, if he actually did this.
I'm not defending his actions. I'm just getting kind of irritated, the whole 30-year span thing.
I would agree. That, to me, as well as some question that I asked, saying... He's been a federal judge for many, many years. And a federal judge is already a pretty high-level position within the government. Mm-hmm. Why now? And that's what I said. Why now at the last minute? At the last minute. Not even,
we all know why, Nick. It's to take him down.
Well, right. I understand that. And I'm going to be open and say... I don't want Brett Kavanaugh as a Supreme Court judge. I'm abhorrently opposed to it. I don't agree with his views on anything.
Yeah, I don't like him.
But at the same time, yes, it is an attempt to take him down. And again, I'm not defending him if he did this to these women. And to me, there hasn't been, other than some testimony, any proof that it happened. I'm sorry. This is observable fact. You can only rely on witness testimony so far before it begins to get skewed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what happened with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, two totally different things. Like, that was actual rape, what Bill Cosby did, and rape, what Harvey Weinstein did.
What Brett Kavanaugh did is what you see on, like, American Pie movie.
Right. Which, again, still bad, very bad, not good to do whatsoever. Disgusting. But
there's different circumstances.
I don't know. This is hard to talk about.
There's different circumstances. No, it's not. You're just worried about what people think about you.
Yeah, I am.
There's different circumstances, so there's different levels. You have what Bill Cosby did. That's very bad, very high on the scale of bad. And then Brett Kavanaugh is a little bit lower. It's not as bad. He didn't drug anybody or anything like that. And I think what's happening these days is we're getting everything mixed together in a nice crock pot. Everything is equally as bad. Bill Cosby and Brett Kavanaugh. You could, no matter if you stick your pee-pee in a girl's face or if you drug somebody, it's still bad. It gets thrown in the bad crock pot and it gets swirled around and
but
it gets fed to Americans.
But Brett, throwing your penis in someone's face is not good.
No, but do you think it's as bad as drugging somebody and then raping them?
I would not put it on the same level as rape, no.
Okay. But it's being thrown in the same crock pot and fed to every American. That's just as bad.
Right. Yes, I agree.
So I don't think that should be happening.
No, I think the differentiation between the thing is the government needs to step in and define what sexual assault is, because if you look at
everybody's trying.
If
to
you
define
look
it
at
their
the
own way.
legal language of it, it is one of the most ambiguous things. And this is something that we've talked about, and I've talked about even with friends who are girls of mine. And you know, it's gotten to the point where, because it's so vague in description, where I gave this example to Brett earlier, where you're a guy and you are at a bar and you are chatting up, you know, a woman, and you have a good camaraderie going, and then the man playfully touches her shoulder, you know, like as people do.
Don't touch me.
And she could do it to him. She could playfully touch his shoulder as well.
She can do it to him, and then
Correct.
it will be fine. And it will not be.
She
she'll
could
not be convicted.
And everything that's been going on here, you know, recent and in the eyes of the law, she could say that touch on the shoulder was sexual assault or harassment.
But if the man
because
says
it made
that,
her feel uncomfortable.
if the man says that, everybody will laugh at him.
Right. And that's the whole societal thing of men versus women.
Sounds pretty equal to me, feminists.
So Brett and I definitely are on different sides of the table with this, but Brett definitely has a bit more hardcore values with this. I just, again, I think it's disgusting if he did this. Really bad. Someone who definitely assaults women, if he did this, should not be on the Supreme Court. But the thing that bugs me, as I just said, out of the whole thing, is why wait so long? Why wait so long? And why wait until the 11th hour?
I'm getting in this girl's head. She probably forgot about it until she saw that he was running for Supreme Court justice and was like, oh, that guy put his dick in my face. Let's take him down. I don't like Republicans anyways. That's exactly what happened.
I would not disagree that I think there's also animosity towards Donald Trump and everything that he stands for.
She probably forgot that situation even existed and that this Brett Kavanaugh even existed until he popped up in the news. Then she probably got this big old light bulb in her head. Oh, I can take him down because he did this to me. That's what happened. And that's probably what most of these women do with all these circumstances.
I think we're going to end
We're
this
going to end
one.
right there.
We're going to end this one.
It was just on the borderline right there.
Yeah, we're chugging along here. We're already at 42 minutes. So I think we're going to jump right into this is going to get us talking too. This is chock full of we should have saved all these for the drunk cast. Could you imagine we'd be talking about this stuff for
Let's hope
an
there's
hour
better
apiece.
stories.
I know, right? Well, Brett, let's do another one, yeah. Shall we?
Yep. All right. I'm good to go. Shots to the Shotcast.
God, I have a headache. All right. Last top news story of the week.
But not least.
That didn't make sense.
Nope. Continue.
Teacher gets fired for failing students. Ken, yes, this one will also yield some high discussion.
I told Adam this story.
And what did Adam have to say?
Are you fucking kidding me? You know his low voice.
Yeah,
You're
so
shitting me.
A teacher in Florida was recently fired for refusing to give her students half credit for not turning in a homework assignment. Because according to school policy, the lowest grade that a teacher is allowed to issue is a 50%.
Stupid.
That is BS.
When did this start? Because that wasn't like that for me in high school.
It depends on the school district and the school, but what... I'm trying to...
There was a kid in my grade that got 37% for a final grade.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
If you don't turn in the homework, don't get a grade. That's how it used to be for me. If I didn't turn in an assignment, it was recorded as a 0, as it rightly should have been.
Yep.
You don't get 50% for not doing anything. That's like
I got 50% for turning in the work late.
that's teaching kids oh, when you actually go get a job, all you have to do is show up and sit there and you'll be fine.
Let's reiterate that. So I, to the audience, I got 50% if I finished the work and turned it in late. These kids now are getting 50% for turning
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely
Nothing
nothing. Because according to school policy, the lowest grade a teacher is allowed to issue is a 50%. Mm-hmm. That is...
Oh, it's in Florida.
Yes.
No wonder.
Jesus, Brett.
That's why.
Hopefully none of you who are listening are from Florida.
Or anywhere. We're kind of offending people.
Stop.
Hopefully you're a guy that's from like Texas. That's where we'll go.
Great, Brett. No,
Or you're above the age of 50.
I think this is ridiculous. No wonder we're raising, millennials are always called like, oh, millennials feel so entitled. And, I think these younger kids are going to be worse because they get to go to school and not do anything and get rewarded for it.
What's that one thing? Hard times create weak men. I already said this on the podcast, didn't I?
Probably.
Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Times create weak men. I can't fucking talk. Why'd you let me do that? Stop it. Stop me. Stop me.
Shut up. This just plays into the whole everyone deserves a trophy thing. And I'm going to be honest, not everyone deserves a trophy. The hardcore reality of life is there will be people who are always better at you than something. And there will be people who are always worse at you than something. Not everyone can be good at everything. And not everyone can get a trophy.
Nope.
And I think that our education system specifically keeps promoting this concept of, oh, well, we'll just pass you. But what you brought up was a good point, where they're probably doing this because if they show that they're able to pass more kids, then they're able to get more funding from the state because all the states are cutting money for school.
I have a theory with all this. Do you want to hear it? I've been thinking about this for a while, ever since I got into Twitch and video gaming and all that. Stop. Don't give me that damn look. Jesus. So you know how most sports these days give out participation
Brett,
trophies.
Where's your brain?
It's over there. It's waving to us. Most sports give out participation trophies, right?
Yes.
Everybody gets a damn trophy for just participating in the sport.
Yes.
Most games you play these days do not. Like if you go into tournaments and stuff, you're not going to get a participation
What, video
trophies.
games?
Yes. You don't get participation trophies in Fortnite. If you get killed, you get killed. You lose. You lose. You lose. If you get killed in Destiny, you lose. You lose. You lose. There's no participation trophies. There's nothing rewarded to you that gives you anything. And most kids are doing what these days and watching what these days?
Video games.
Twitch, video games.
Doesn't matter though. They go to school and then have to do a jack shit, and they get 50%.
Well, remember what I said about the board? They probably want to make the school look
Right,
better than
but it doesn't matter.
They're inflating they're inflating it.
You know what this teaches kids? This teaches kids like, oh, when I go and get a job, all I have to do is show up to work and not actually do anything, and I'll be fine. My boss ain't gonna care. No one's gonna care.
They're inflating the IQ of the school.
I'll tell you what. After being in the workforce for almost 3 years now, everything that they taught you in high school and college about what the real world would be like for work is lies, and it is false. No one can prepare you for what it is like and how you'll actually be treated and what it's like what people expect. No one can prepare you for that. You have to go and do it, and this doesn't help.
Yeah, you can not be what you want to be. If you try your hardest, sometimes you just will fail, and you have to be prepared for that and have tough skin, because if you have thin skin in the real world, you're gonna fail.
Yes,
that's pretty much.
That's more of an applicable life lesson.
I think that's what I'm gonna tell my kids if I ever have any kids. You cannot be whatever you want to be. Some people just don't make it. You can try, but sometimes you'll just fail. You'll just have to stop because you'll just waste your time. And better have some tough skin, kid. Because if you have some soft skin, you're not going to make it either. So
the best
buckle
advice,
up, Buttercup.
The best advice that I got, I think, recently, and again, this isn't me being selfish, and I surround myself with a lot of good mentors and a lot of good people, but at the end of the day, no matter what way you throw it, you got to do what's best for you. You got to look out for yourself because no one else is going to look out for you. Mm-hmm. That is how it is.
Oh, and I also will tell my kids, nobody cares about you or cares about your ideas or what you want to do.
That is not true.
No, nobody cares.
No, that isn't true.
People act like they care.
No, I would disagree with you there because I've had some pretty cool people in my life that I've been able to meet over this past year who actually do genuinely care and want to help.
Well, will it help them in return?
Probably to some degree.
Oh, that's probably why they want to help.
I mean, I don't know. One of them, I don't think I'm helping. I think it's just she just loves helping me, I guess. But that one I don't agree with so much. But I do agree with everything
Can I
else.
say most people?
Sure, you can say most people.
You'll find that needle in a haystack.
I still am a firm believer that if you want something bad enough and you put in the work to do it, you will get it. But it's going to take a lot of work, and most people aren't willing to put in that amount of work. Mm-hmm. But giving kids participation trophies for everything and 50% on not turning in homework is not teaching the value of hard work and what it takes to actually get something. And that's the problem. And Miss Diane Tirado here refused to abide by this policy and was fired for giving students a 0 on homework assignments. And on her last day, she left a message on the whiteboard. Would you like to know what this said, Brett?
Yeah.
It read,
yeah.
Bye, kids. Miss Tirado loves you and wishes you the best in life. I have been fired for refusing to give you a 50% for not handing anything in. Heart, Miss Tirado.
Yep, and they actually were on Facebook, like, praising her.
Her post went viral. This is how it should be. She shouldn't have been fired for giving students a 0 for not completing assignments.
No, but she lost the board money, so fuck her.
But here's what was interesting. In the article I read, apparently one of the parents that were defending it was like, well, sometimes kids, have family issues at home, and you never know what's going on, and maybe they can't get to the homework or the assignment.
Well, then they deserve a 0.
Right. I'm sorry you have family issues at home. You come to school to learn. Learn what you're supposed to.
Because you know what happens when that kid gets a 0 and the adults see that the kid is doing poorly, they investigate and figure out what's going on at home.
If they're
what's
good
going
parents.
What's going on at home? What's going on in this kid's life? Is there anything that we can do to fix this? Does he need some medical help or anything like that? If they see that all the kids are the same across the board, they're not going to investigate any fucking kids and figure out what's wrong with them.
If they're good parents.
No, I'm talking about...
Oh, the school.
I'm talking about the school.
Ah, yes, the school. Yes, you're right about that.
Yeah.
So,
guidance counselors and stuff.
I think this is stupid. I can't believe a school fired a teacher over this. This is the world we're living in. My God, glad I'm not able to have kids, and nor do I want to adopt or have any. All right.
Thank God.
That wraps up this week's news stories. Huh, Brett?
Bravo.
Brett
that was a good segment.
Brett and I are going to take a very brief break, and we'll be back to give you the topic of the week.
All right, sounds good.
And we're back here to wrap up this week's Shotcast with our topic of the week, which is not a happy topic by any ways or means. And the whole reason I chose this and actually did the research and pulled it up was because last week, actually, in Madison, we had an active shooter who wounded 4 people at a local software company here. Shooter died. But that whole thing caused me to think about, maybe we should actually, on the podcast, talk about the history of mass shootings and gun violence in the U.S.
I live about 10 minutes away from where that happened.
Yeah, but you weren't there. And that's what matters.
I was not there, but I'm just emphasizing to the audience.
Brett and I are going to do another Shots to the Shotcast here. Say it, Brett.
Shots to the Shotcast.
And dive into a history of mass shootings and gun violence in the U.S. So,
I feel like we just did shots, like cheers to shootings.
All right, we're going to go right into the topic of the week here.
That's weird.
Brett, that's what we do on this. We do shots to the damn Shotcast.
Okay, all right.
Anyhow, I think we've talked about the right to bear arms and guns before on this Shotcast, but I don't think we've actually talked about the history of mass shootings and just gun violence in general in the U.S., which is some of the worst on the planet.
Yep.
And you wonder to yourself, wow, we live in probably the most developed country on the planet, and we live in one of the most wealthiest countries on the planet, but yet the murder rate is the highest out of any other country on the planet. Specifically, the murder rate using a weapon, such as a gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually looked this up the other day. I think it's a little different for America because we're just so damn big compared to every other country in the world.
Sure, land-wise, but population-wise, no. I mean, we do have a lot of people, but...
Yeah, we have way more people than most countries.
okay, I'm thinking comparatively to China and Russia and
Oh, yeah, well, those guys, yeah, there's a lot of people there. So, but no, what I was going to say was the amount of cops killed was 2,000 cops, 2,000 something cops in the U.S. since like somewhere in the 80s. I can't remember the exact statistics, but I know I'm roughly very close to what they said on the podcast. Well, was it the podcast? Either way, it was some YouTube video I was watching on statistics, and there was about 100 something in the UK cops killed since the 80s.
I don't even want to know how many here. Probably thousands.
I said 2,000s.
Oh.
2,000. But then I looked up how many UKs can fit in the US, and there was about 18, and I times that by everything, and that's more than the amount of cops killed in the US. So if the UK was just as big as the US, there'd be more cops killed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting fact. Also further showcasing how, we have very little... Well, we have regulation on guns. They're just not enforced. That's the problem. And I'm not an advocate of ripping guns away from people. Never have been. But I definitely think the laws that we have need to be enforced because they're not whatsoever. Absolutely not whatsoever. Which is why the first question to ask is, why is the culture of owning a gun in the U.S. consistently viewed as a positive? Have you thought about this?
Yeah.
It's bred into our culture. And this can be traced back to colonial times and pretty much the founding of the country, given that I think we are the only country on the planet that written in our Constitution as a protection of guns and weapons is written into it.
Right to bear arms.
Correct.
And we have the only national anthem that talks about war and bombing shit.
Yeah, so our Constitution defends guns. The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, this amendment has been interpreted so many different ways. None of us know what the founding fathers meant when writing this. I think
they were also running away from the
correct.
Tyrannical
we know
government.
that they had just come out of a revolutionary war against a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
And the whole Revolutionary War was won on militia warfare, which was local people with their guns, So
But
it would make...
During a time when these
Correct.
redcoats would charge into the person's
Correct.
house and kidnap their children.
Right. And they also had, weapons and guns that would take 10 minutes to reload after you fired it.
Exactly.
They did not predict handguns. They did not predict semi-automatic rifles. They did not predict the scope of the weaponry that we would have today, which is why I think a lot of the interpretation of this is very wonky. Not to mention the line there, necessary to the security of a free state. So anytime anyone pulls that, I'm thinking to myself, so if you pull that line, then you must think our government is tyrannical, and they're trying to take over, which is why you have a gun then, if that's...
This is treason. Anyways, I think what I was going to say before... Oh, no, I'm forgetting what I was going to say.
You need to go pick your brain up out of that corner right now.
No, I was thinking about saying it when you were talking. Shit.
Oh, well. Media.
I know. I just thought of it. I think it's you talking that just bores me, and I think about my own stuff. I'd love to go back in time and say to like one of the founding fathers, would you change the Constitution any way if these muskets could fire automatically and kill thousands of people in the matter of minutes? And I'd love to hear the reaction. Of course we would change the Constitution.
No, I was going to do an imitation here. I was going to imitate Ben Franklin and be like, well, fuck no.
What? They wouldn't change it?
Oh, I meant like, fuck no.
Fuck
to like,
yeah, you mean?
Fuck no, like we wouldn't have put it in there if that is what we knew would happen.
Oh, I mean, like, would you go ahead and change your laws in the Constitution if you
fine.
knew this was going to happen?
Let's do this again. Hell to the yes.
Okay. Why does Ben Franklin talk like that? Hell to the yes.
Shut up, Brett. Let me okay.
Well, my dear sir, hell to the yes.
Moving on. Media. The depiction of weapons in movies, television, and popular culture is very prevalent in the United States. I feel like there's not a single movie that I see these days that doesn't involve shooting or killing or anything of that nature whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Agreed.
So it's also embedded into our media. the military, and the U.S. military is viewed as the most dominant military force in the world. And recently, in fiscal year 17, the government spent $590 billion on defense alone, which Trump has only increased. So clearly, our government also is proactive guns and weapons. And conceal and carry, well, enough said there. So gun laws in the U.S., how they currently stand, at least some of the major components, the minimum age of a minimum age of 18 to purchase shotguns or rifles, and then it is a minimum age of 21 for other firearms such as handguns. Which I don't even know why it's 18 to purchase a shotgun, because you can really do a lot of damage with a shotgun.
It's got a big spread.
Okay, Brett. Many gun laws are left up to the individual states where laws vary greatly. So there is actually, this is true, a lot of firearm and gun laws vary by state. The federal government has guidelines and laws, of course, but a lot of it is left up to the states and there's no cohesion. And technically, all purchasers of firearms are subject to a thorough background check. And currently, what law states is prior fugitives and people deemed a danger to society and patients involuntarily committed to mental institutions are among those who may not purchase firearms.
Yeah.
Which, did you know the guy who shot up that software company in Middleton here last week, was admitted into a mental institution in South Dakota a couple years ago and was banned from getting a firearm, yet here he was able to get one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. What about that, huh?
And federal law also prohibits the sale of firearms to persons found guilty of possessing or using controlled substances in the last year, such as marijuana, cocaine, meth, and heroin. I bet those are not strictly enforced whatsoever. And only licensed dealers may sell firearms to the public. And firearms are completely forbidden to be sold online, which was that whole thing we were talking about 3D printing and stuff.
Yep.
So this is just a current scope of the gun laws we have in the U.S. There's a lot more to this, and I only took out the major points here. But most of this isn't really enforced that well.
No, it's not.
And, every time we have a mass shooting, it's the same cycle. Oh my God, this is horrible. We need to do something about this. Oh my God, thoughts and prayers of the people who are dead. Oh my God, let's march on Washington. Oh my God, Second Amendment, don't take our guns. Oh my God, we all forgot about what happened. And then it starts all over again.
I think we've gone through this cycle, at least in my lifetime, 12 times now?
And nothing ever changes.
Nothing ever changes.
Nothing ever changes. And why? I mean, I can give a handful of answers, but I really don't know why. We have powerful lobbying groups in the U.S. like the National Rifle Association. We have a lot of certain demographics of people who are avid gun activists. I don't know, but it's interesting to see other countries in the world who have banned the use of firearms altogether, how low their crime rate is.
The other day, I tried to put my brain inside a gun owner's brain who loves guns and doesn't want them to be taken away, and I thought about if people are yelling about video games, as sometimes they do, that they're the cause of mass shootings, and they actually want to take those away, and they're actually trying to make plans to take those away, and I'd probably be like the gun owner. So I can kind of get their viewpoint.
Sure. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying, I've never advocated for taking guns away completely, but I definitely think that the government needs to get their crap together and they need to start enforcing the laws that they already currently have.
By the way, I'm not agreeing with the gun owners. I actually want guns to be more regulated. And most guns taken away, you can have a handgun, I'm fine with that one.
I think this is
That's
mine.
my third one, so.
I think this is mine.
I
don't know why I put it over there. Anyhow, we're going to quickly go through a list of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history.
Is this ranked one to, is this ranked from,
This is ranked from highest to lowest, I think.
Wait, the one in Las Vegas was the highest?
Yes.
What?
I was actually going to play a guessing game with you. I was going to read it, and then you were going to guess.
I only saw the first one.
You were going to guess, and then we would talk about it briefly. Okay. So I guess we'll go into the first one since you already guessed it. 58 killed on October 1st, 2017.
Las Vegas.
Yes, Brett, that was Las Vegas. 64-year-old Stephen Paddock of Mesquite, Nevada, sprayed gunfire into a crowd of 22,000 concertgoers from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. He killed 58 people and injured almost 500.
Yep.
Yeah, that was bad.
He injured
was
500 people?
Yeah. Brett, he sprayed assault rifle fire into a crowd.
I know, but that's a lot of people to hit 500.
I still can't believe the dude was able to do it. Like, he literally flew under the radar that much. And he broke a window at those hotels. I
still believe my conspiracy theory.
As you remember, though, when we were in Vegas, how thick the hotel room windows are. They're thick inches of glass.
I still believe my conspiracy theory on that.
What's your conspiracy theory?
The FBI was meeting up with some shady group from the Middle East. And the Middle East people didn't know it was the FBI. It was a stick-up. And they were trying to get him for, like, underarm dealing. Under the table. Arm dealing.
Who?
And it went haywire, and the FBI lost control of the Middle Eastern group, and they decided to open fire. And they blamed it on that guy.
You can have your crazy theory, I suppose.
I was listening to a crazy conspiracy theory podcast.
Whatever. That could work. Next one here. 49 killed, June 12th, 2016.
June 12th of 2016?
Yes.
49 people killed?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in June 12th of 2016 that I am forgetting? Sandy Hook?
No, this was the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Oh!
Yes.
That was that long ago?
Yes, it was.
Feels like it was
that was right after I graduated college. I remember that. So
that was in Florida.
Yes. So Omar Siddiqui, Mateen, 29, opened fire inside Pulse, a gay nightclub in Orlando. 49 people were killed and more than 50 were injured.
Yep.
That was, remember that one very clearly. 32 killed April 16th, 2007.
Was this Sandy Hook?
This one was Virginia Tech.
Now I'm just going to be guessing Sandy Hook the whole time.
Well, don't guess Sandy Hook the whole time. That is in here.
Well, I will not guess Sandy Hook, and it will be Sandy Hook.
I remember this. I remember waking up, getting ready to go to school, and they Today Show broke in with this, the Virginia Tech killing. This was very bad. 23-year-old Sung-Hui Cho went on a shooting spree at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia, killing 32 people in 2 locations and wounding an undetermined number of others on campus.
That's scary.
I remember that one.
Yep, I do too.
That one's burned into my memory.
That's when we started freaking out at high school and stuff.
27 killed, December 14th, 2012. Are you going to say Sandy Hook again?
Sure.
Yep, because you're right, actually. In Newtown, Connecticut, 20-year-old Adam Lanza gunned down 20 children, ages 6 and 7, and 6 adults.
See, I think that's
school
the most
staff
evil.
And faculty at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
That's just fucking evil.
That one,
kids.
Yes, that one I think really.
I'm not putting any of the others ones.
No, the fact that we're going through this list is horrible, but like.
They're all horrible.
This
but
one
I
is
think
just.
That one's
well, then after
evil.
he did this, he went home and shot his mom. All right, like maybe he shot her before, but either way, that one was.
That one, all of these are evil, but this one he deserves a special place on Satan's throne for the kids.
Yeah, there's no words to describe that one in particular. 17 killed February 14th, 2018.
February 14th of 2018, 17 killed. Oh my God, that was just this was very recent.
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing? There's been so many. I'm
forgetting. This was the one in Florida, that high school. A former student unleashed a hail of gunfire at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
See, I don't even remember this one now.
Killing at least the whole movement with the kids marching on Washington and stuff.
That was that one?
Yes.
They're getting so frequent. They're just starting to meld together.
It's bad. But this guy killed 17 adults and children. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz has been charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder. That was the one with all the, March for Our Lives, all that stuff. 14 killed, December 2nd, 2015.
14 killed, December 2nd. Is it bad we're turning this into a game?
We're not. This isn't a game. I'm just seeing, like, if you remember these.
Oh, I don't remember this one.
Oh. This one, actually, this was the San Bernardino one. This one, I remember making headlines, was very bad, but this one doesn't stick with me as much. But married couple Syed Rizwan Farouk and Tashfeen Malik opened fire on an employee gathering taking place at Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California, killing 14 people.
Okay.
13 killed April 20th, 1999.
That's Columbine.
Yes. 18-year-old Eric Harris and 17-year-old Dylan Klebold killed 12 fellow students and one teacher at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado.
That's a creepy name for a school, to be connected to a mass shooting, don't you
Columbine?
think? Columbine.
Well, because you just say
Columbine.
it. You say it and it just resonates with what happened
Sounds
there.
like a.
And the thing is, this, in a really bad way, this was kind of like the one mass shooting that kind of seemed to kickstart a lot of this, because you didn't really hear about it a lot until
this is
happened.
This is the beginning of the snowball.
12 killed July 20th, 2012.
The Boston Massacre. That was more of a blow up.
What?
Used bombs. I don't know.
No, this was the Aurora, Colorado shooting. Remember when the Batman movie, the guy went in and started shooting all those people in the movie theater?
See, I don't know the names of places, but when you describe what happened, I remember it.
12 people are killed and 58 are wounded in a shooting at the screening of the new Batman film in Aurora, Colorado. James E. Holmes, 24 at the time, dressed head to toe in protective gear, set off 2 explosive devices before spraying the theater with bullets from an AR-15 rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun, and one of 2 40 caliber handguns.
He had that many guns on him?
Oh, dude was locked and loaded.
I didn't know that.
I remember waking up to that one too. That was horrible.
It made me scared to go to theaters for a while.
Horrible. And that pretty much wraps up the list of...
And there's been plenty more that have not been
correct. There's
major.
There was that one in the church, remember, that guy, there was a lot more on this I could have put on this list that I elected not to, but I figured these were some of the most prominent ones that people would remember. But yeah, it's crazy to think we're actually, come Monday, is the 1-year anniversary of the Las Vegas one.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, October 1st of 2017 is when that happened. It was a Sunday night. Yeah, I do, because I remember I woke up Monday morning and the news was ablaze over all that.
We're like, we're just there.
Yeah, that was scary. That was weird. So yeah, this just paints a really, really sad picture of gun violence and mass shootings in the U.S. because this shouldn't be this frequent.
No, it shouldn't.
It really shouldn't.
It shouldn't even happen.
If you look in the past 10 years, the past 10 years is the most it's ever happened.
Yep.
And I cannot say why it seems to be that way.
More people. There's one variable.
Sure, more people, but
more.
Is it the government not enforcing the laws? Is it gun accessibility? I don't really know if there is one distinct answer. But you know what amazes me most about this whole thing is we throw the word terrorist around constantly in this country. We call so many people in the Middle East terrorists. We call what qualifies as a terrorist? Because I'll tell you what, every single one of these people to me is a terrorist.
Well, you want the definition of terrorism?
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at what defines terrorism, these people are all terrorists.
It's to have the goal of changing the laws in a government or to change a government.
By inciting fear.
By inciting fear.
Well, every single one of these people did
that. So you
can
probably qualify them as terrorists.
Yes, but our government hasn't.
They don't call them terrorists?
No.
Wait, what?
No.
I thought they did.
No.
They didn't call the Las Vegas guy a terrorist?
No.
Why?
That's a good question, because he was a white male, Brett.
You know why? You know why? I'm just going to put my theory out there why terrorist is not being labeled on these guys. I think terrorists would have been labeled on these guys if 9/11 didn't happen. Because 9/11 put the terrorist bar way up here. And compared to 9/11, these guys are way down here.
Right, but these are domestic terrorists.
But did you hear what I just said?
Yes.
9/11 put the bar up so high for terrorism that when you hear these little things, and they're not little, obviously, but I'm just saying compared to 9/11, they're very little. They're lower on the bar, and they're probably not labeled that. Because if they incite them as terrorists, you're saying that these guys are just as bad or as 9/11, which wouldn't that be?
Fine.
Wouldn't that be kind of disrespectful?
See your point. Either way, I view them all as domestic terrorists.
I'm not saying I agree with what I just said.
Oh,
I'm just being devil's advocate.
Fine, be devil's advocate.
I think they should be called terrorists because they are changing the way the government works and how we work as a society. So, with that being said, in that depressive state that we've just left you all in, have a good day.
Yeah, we're done with that segment now.
Let's not talk about mass shootings
No,
again. That's
hopefully,
depressing.
hopefully moving forward here we have a bit more
Let's get like a nice story.
uplifting
sometime.
topic of the week. Well, we are changing the format quite a bit moving
Yeah,
forward.
we are. We're gonna do
and
that,
we're going to
yeah.
be announcing this
Next
week for our monthly October Drunkcast, which apparently Brett wants to be spooky.
we should dress up as Halloween and take pictures.
No,
Okay.
we will take pictures, but well, I do have Halloween garb.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But yes, so join us again next week as we ring in October with our monthly Drunkcast. Have a lot of updates coming your way. Make sure to like us and follow us on SoundCloud for now, but we will be transitioning to something new. And we are on Instagram at
Yes.
_Shotcast. So please feel free to follow us on Instagram as well for a new level of engagement with us at the Shotcast.
Yes, that'd be great.
So, without further ado, this is Nick saying bye-bye to next week.
Shots to the Shotcast. See you later, everybody.